Welcome to our expert insight short presentations. Here on stage have been prepared in cooperation with VDMA Working Group Additive Manufacturing. Our topic for today is education in additive manufacturing. And before we start with our presentations here on stage, I may have the one or the other tip for the audience out there at the screens, because here is a tremendous program for people looking for jobs. For example, we have here in Hall 11.0 at the booth number D70, that's here, and across over there it's D72. We have direct exchange with potential new employers. Okay, this is at the whole trade fair, you can have that one, but you have job wall here directly vis-a-vis, and there you can find vacancies. So maybe it's good to come here, and if it's this not enough, you find a free job application photo shoot at the booth until 4 o'clock in the afternoon today. And if this still not enough, you can have a free career consultation today up to 4 o'clock. Maybe this is the one or the other aspect to bring you here to the fair. I would be very happy to see you here. But now I'm happy to have my colleagues here from VDMA. We have the experts Stephan Braun. He's acting head of additive manufacturing R&D of KGaA. It's a pump manufacturer. And Christoph Hauck. He's member of the executive board of Toolcraft. And Gustavo Melo. Gustavo, nice to have you here, a project manager at RWTH Aachen University, and that's a DAP, and DAP stands for Digital Additive Production. But we are starting with Stephan Braun. We are very curious what you brought us in terms of here education and career in additive manufacturing. The stage is yours.
Yes, thank you. So, yes, my name, as he said, Stephan Braun from the company KGaA. And yeah, I have one short presentation about the education we do in our company for additive manufacturing. We start direct at the bottom of the education story with our trainees. So we introduced in our company a special training content for our foundry mechanics. So the foundry mechanics in general has had different modules they have to do in their education. That begins with the metal technology, the special module for casting technology, the welding technology, and control technologies. And we added to this education additional module with additive manufacturing. So at first, we start with the technologies in additive manufacturing with the polymer 3D printing at our site, so that every trainees had the chance in their training years of 3.5 years to have the hand on the 3D printer for polymers, the MEX printers, and especially the trainees here you have in foundry mechanics have the chance to get the hands on the additive technology for binder jetting, for sand printing, especially here for the patterns, for the casting molds and cores in our foundry. And a few years ago, in 2019, we added the metal 3D printing to this education, so that all trainees have 6 to 12 weeks in their training duration at our additive manufacturing center, and they do a certification for a machine operator in additive manufacturing. So all the special things we have here in additive manufacturing with metal powders in the powder bed fusion process are trained, and they do a special test after this. we introduced this especially here in the foundry mechanics because there is no education planned from the IHK directly for these trainees, and we see that the foundry technology is one field that can be directly enriched with these technologies of additive manufacturing. In general, they get also, especially here for additive manufacturing, the additional modules for environmental health and safety, and get also the insights to the material science behind the additive manufacturing technologies. Yes, at least we finalize this certification with our own KSB certificate for additive manufacturing, and after that training, they are allowed to get in our additive manufacturing center afterwards also as machine operators. That's in short my introduction for our education.
What you are doing at KSB. Thank you very much for this insight. Maybe if we can switch back to the slide, if it's possible. You wrote down that the duration of the training is 3.5 years. Is that the standard duration?
This is the standard duration in total, yes, for every foundry mechanics. But we enriched it in these standard duration with the additive manufacturing module.
So you added some aspects into the 3.5 years that were formerly used. So it's not necessary to put on more because we have such a complicated issues here. So it really fits well into this normal period of time.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And I wonder if you have a qualification program for older employees or people who want to change their subject in the company. Is there a program as well?
Yes, we do nearly the same. So when we get an employee as machine operator, they do the same training as our trainees and get also their test and their certification as machine operator before they are allowed to work in our additive manufacturing program.
This morning we had in our morning talk here on stage, had we some discussion about, giving more awareness to the topic of additive manufacturing, and there we talked about sustainability, but I think it's the same when we're talking about new workers, skilled workers, and people who want to get familiar with additive manufacturing. How is it linked in your company? Is there is a marketing officer part of your team when you're talking about getting people from additive manufacturing to attract to KSB?
Yes, especially we have with our training department, they want also to get more and better qualified trainees there with this implemental of additive manufacturing to the standard processes we have in all the others as
and they talk to you. So they come to you and say, hey, what is the advantage of additive manufacturing? How can we make a better advertisement or something?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, especially in the foundry technologies, we have the old job of the foundry mechanism, and we want to add the mindset of additive manufacturing because in Germany we have not that much foundries that all around the world, especially in Asia, but we're specialized here. And then we also need the specialists in different technologies with the same topic to produce parts, to produce raw parts.
Okay, one last question, because we have to think that we have two other presentations. Yeah. One last thing, we had yesterday again the topic of pumps and the spare part of pumps, and that is very interesting field of applying additive manufacturing parts. Do you work with that as well?
Yes, of course. As we have also the different customers inside KSB, especially our service department for the spare parts, but also for serial parts and also other customers that come to us with our special certifications we have for pressure equipment as one example that is not that much on the market.
Do you have off-site customers who may have installed additive printing machine at their production site, maybe a far away oil and gas production or something like that, where you do not deliver your manufactured KSB model, but you deliver the CAD data for printing the part by themselves?
Not at the moment.
Do you plan something like that?
It's every time something that is in plan, but not already in use.
You are discussing that with the financial people, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Stephan, for your presentation and the insights. We now switch to Christoph Hauck, member of Executive Board of Toolcraft, and we were wondering what you brought with you.
Thanks for having me. So, first of all, Toolcraft, a medium-sized company in the middle of Bavaria. We started our additive manufacturing journey in 2011. Meanwhile, we have 25 people working in our engineering, in our production, and we have 12 powder bed machines, we have 2 LMD machines. And what we address is not just additive manufacturing, but also in a combination with subtractive manufacturing to achieve really high quality parts made of metal. And so we are supplying regulated industries like the aerospace, like the semiconductor, like the defense, like the medical sector. And for this, we need to have robust processes. And to be honest, in 2011, there was a lack of specification, there was a lack of education. And so we need to start also working with the Dean, creating specifications. We're still member of the Dean, so I'm in the Dean Presidium. And for now, also, we're special approved in aerospace by NatCap for this micro welding process. And for this, we need to have experts in our additive manufacturing. And first of all, we have the qualified machine operator. So we train our people who run the machines, and they have to pass an annual test. Otherwise, if they fail, they are not allowed to work with those machines. The next one is the qualified visual inspector, because we got contact, and it was mandatory to have a welding engineer. And at the very beginnings, we had an external welding engineer. Meanwhile, we have an internal qualified welding engineer, and they showed us that also the visual inspection of additive manufactured parts is highly of importance before you go maybe for the post-processing like CNC machining. To speed up also the industrial process of additive manufacturing, together with Friedrich Alexander University of Erlangen and together with the Chamber of Industry and Commerce in Nuremberg, we created 2 training courses or certificate courses for additive manufacturing. One is the industrial specialist additive manufacturing, the operator, and the other one is the designer. And this is really highly of importance because we also have people from other industries in our production, and we want to train them on these training courses, and then of course pay them also more money because they are then skilled and they are the experts. And finally, we created also a virtual training concept, and it was part of a big founded project, national project called IDEA. And so we took some founded money to start with virtual reality training, because it's really important not to train people on stupid 3D printing equipment like a very cheap FDM printer, because this has nothing to do with industrial and robust additive manufacturing. So we really build up a virtual reality process chain, starting with the printing system, going over to the depowdering, vacuum furnaces are included to cut off the parts from the build plate. We have CNC machines, we have tactical and optical measurement machines into this process chain, and people really like it, and people from Toolcraft are also being trained on this virtual but industrial equipment. So, and that's our task we do to our daily business, which is the production, but we see it necessary to leverage the additive manufacturing not just in Germany, but also Europe and international.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you very much for your presentation. Let's step into the virtual reality training. How close are you to the real process? I wonder. For example, are you using digital twins and something like this?
So we have exactly those machines in the training concept that we have in our real production environment. So, for instance, part of this is a TruePrint 5000 system from the supplier Trumpf, a 3 laser unit, and people really wear their virtual reality glasses, and they have really to do some process steps like cleaning the safety glasses with a virtual towel. They also have to clean up the dust like it is in reality, and that's really of important because it does not make sense in our training room to invest in all the hardware because they will not be in production, so it's really wasting money. And this digital twin, and it's really like gaming. It comes out of the gaming, and you feel like
that's one interesting part. It's like gaming, so it's fun to use it.
It's like an adventure game at the end. It's like an adventure game. You can jump through the process chain, and you can. The next step is also to create some or to solve problems by solutions. So we have a nice project with the German army. It's a big housing, far too big for additive manufacturing in the powder bed. So you need to think about, I can split it into single parts, and then I can weld it together with LMD technology, and these are the next steps. So we have many, many ideas also to implement our LMD system now, but of course it takes time, costs money to get these digital twin on a really high quality because it really has to look like reality.
So you are more than one step into a simulation here.
Yeah.
It's a real simulation. So you can. Are you working with these younger guys on improving the processes? Do you give them the tasks? Okay, not just training. Like it's somebody says that is the perfect process and just train it. Do you give the task? Try to make it better. Try to make it faster.
It's our key philosophy. So, of course, I'm head of the company, but I want to.
That sounds as we had a chit chat before, but we didn't have. I'm honest.
I want to have, and 400 employees that we have. I want to have highly motivated people. We fully trust them, so they gave us the motivation. Everybody has to think about daily improvement. So if anybody has an idea, I want him tell it to me, and the perfect solution is that we implement this idea, and then we can say it was his idea. So continuous improvement process, it's a must inside toolcraft.
Okay, thank you very much for this statement.
Thank you.
Till now, and now we have Gustavo. Gustavo brings in the part of university and young people coming to university and from university. We're curious what you brought with you.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you for the introduction. Just waiting for the slide here. Wonderful. So, good morning, everybody. My name is Gustavo. I'm a project manager at DAP, so the chair for digital additive production at Aachen University. And today the talk is a short talk, 5 minutes. It's the topic Education 4.0 for additive manufacturing. Some other connections here, what Christoph and Hauck already presented, and I would love to discuss afterwards. We talk about as well, it's quite well spread that additive manufacturing capability and know-how is really important for the implementation of additive manufacturing. In this case here, I just point out some challenge that we have for additive manufacturing education. First, as you can see here from this fair, rapid development of additive manufacturing. It's a moving target. So it's really tough to take the education path or in the same pace than the technology involvement itself. Then we have interdisciplinarity as well integrity. So we have knowledge of different areas and domains, but also the understanding the whole process chain of it. We discussed the 4th point, education mismatch. So it means there's a lot of engineers, there's a lot of professionals that are now in the industry, but they have never contact with additive manufacturing before. And last but not least, hands-on knowledge. And then we do see from our studies that is quite important for the knowledge transfer in the field of additive manufacturing. And then came COVID. And COVID brought some new variables to this equation. Now we have home office and a hybrid way of working. We do have, as we talked before, the acceleration of digital transformation. And last but not least, as Frank mentioned before, we do have this necessity of upskilling, reskilling to tackle the future of work. So the point is how we can navigate here additive manufacturing in this landscape and this scenario. For that, I would like to rephrase the Ministry of Education and Labor, Marianne Thyssen from the European Commission, that we do need to foster and use modern education and content to improve and to keep the pace of this technology development. And for that, it's a perfect hook to the current solution. That's the Education 4.0. In a nutshell, it's education enhanced by technology that could be improved and can support this learning path and keep the trace and keep the pace with the technology development of additive manufacturing. And then we ask about what would be the solutions, and I just brought some demonstration that we did here at Aachen with some partners, as well with Fachhochschule. The first one here used augmented reality to try to exactly change the mindset about how to design for additive, showing the design possibilities within the project item that was led also by BMW. We used some parts, industrial partners, or industrial parts already incorporated in our cards. And then we already tried and run out in our lectures at RWTH University. And they are now planning to apply and use industrial partners as we did in the first round in BMW. Then we have additive manufacturing or augmented reality in virtual realm here with the HoloLens. I come quick back. It's just this visualization of the parts, also to really change the mindset of the designers how to use additive manufacturing in a wise way, in a correct way. And last but not least, we have a VR training that we have developed with a connect machine, part familiarization, machine familiarization, powder handling, and this is quite important here that we discuss health and safety. So now we are putting in a situation and putting in an environment that's virtual, but safe for the trainer as well. And with this last slide, I just want to drop this leading question. Yeah? Have you already imagined to use augmented reality, virtual reality to train your team where and when they need it, and especially in a scalable way? Yeah? I really love to discuss that, either right now with the partners, as well you can come and pass by our booth at ACAM, the Aachen Center for Additive Manufacturing, we're also trying out these applications with you. With that, Frank, I'm always open to questions.
Yeah, Gustavo, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Very insightful. You brought some videos with you. And is it hard to learn these simulation or these what is it called? It's
so which part? There is two there.
Where you have the parts. Where you have to work with his glasses and so on.
Yeah.
I think it's not so easy to manage it, to handle it. Is it?
So the augmented reality itself, the HoloLens.
The HoloLens.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The HoloLens is a really good point. It came back from our review session that we did with some experts. Some of them had already tried out before HoloLens and some augmented reality, and from them the learning curve
was that was the word I was looking for, the augmented reality. So I think it's not so easy to handle it when you have that glasses, that HoloLens, and then to work in that's exactly what I mean.
Exactly the point. Yeah.
Is it easy or?
So we have two groups there in our study that we carried out at DAP. One with prior experience, the others with not. And then we do realize that we do need to create some instruction in the beginning. So we do have, in the beginning of the training, that we use here to show, first of all, the theory of design for additive manufacturing, as well the technical and the real use case of the industry. So in the beginning, we create a nutshell or a nugget training so that they can, instruction, we'll say so they can deal and understand how to use the HoloLens. But to be honest, it was more than 10 to 15 minutes, and they already mastered and they could play around.
10 to 15 minutes, that's nothing.
Wonderful.
That's not a problem. So
and
you don't need weeks to learn it. It's just 10 minutes.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Then you
just
can
a small instruction, and then it opens a door to a whole new world of education content that we already described here. Yeah.
Okay, and then you can use it anywhere in the world, so you are not bounded. You mentioned it with Corona. You can use it anymore in the world somewhere to educate the people. Well, you mentioned your booth as well. Did you bring students to the exhibition here to have a look at all the things on 3D printing?
We have more than 80 students from Aachen. We just brought them, and thank you also the sponsors that supported. As again, university is quite important, but it's the connection of industry play a key role here. So I do recommend that this connection between industry and university should be fostered, not only for financial, but also that you give us what you need to learn. So then we think about how to teach. Yeah. So this is our role in the university. So that's exactly what I'm looking for here.
Okay, then we do the connection here on the stage. Please come there, then, so that we have a short discussion with all the three of you. We saw now this HoloLens business. Are you using something like this as KSB as well?
We are using this as well, especially in the service department. We have augmented reality or trainings with virtual reality, and especially also in our construction engineering department, they are using these tools too. And especially in our place in Pegnitz, we are the first that do the digitalization projects in the KSB company, and there we have a lot of all these tools that we test. What is the right way for the education of service engineers, of trainees, and so on.
And let me try to bring you guys together. Would that be a cooperation, something that you could offer a guy from KSB machinery or pump production to show him how to enhance his training with your insights?
Totally, we are more than welcome. In our university, we exactly now try to push these new developments that we have developed since 2.5 years to the scenario of industrial environment. So we are more than welcome. I do believe that here today is a platform that KSB as well with toolcraft here look some points of synergy that we can combine our developments and apply in the industry scenario.
So the one crucial question, I think, is how many open parts, not parts, what is the right word, to attract people? How many open prospects do you have at your company so that you get, I'm lacking the right word. Give me a second.
Vacancies?
Vacancies.
Vacancies?
Thank you very much.
Well,
vacancies.
Yeah.
How many open vacancies do you have at your company?
I don't know exactly. I would say around 15 at the moment.
15?
So it becomes more and more challenging to get the right people. So it's not just additive manufacturing. So we have some more. So we need to have milling specialists, molding specialists, robotic engineering specialists. So we are not fully covered with all the personnel that we wanted to have.
Because this morning I mentioned to the crowd that there may be some open vacancies, and I wanted to check if I say the right saying here or not.
And this is exactly the strategy we have. So 430 employees, but included in these are 60 young people being trained in different technologies. So this rate is, compared to the others, extremely high. And this is also the strategy for the future, to cover with our own educated people the upcoming growth.
Frank, if I can add up one here regarding to the vacancies. We carried out last year a mapping of 11,000 job vacancies. We created an algorithm to screen all the job positions that we have now in LinkedIn, as well the other job portals, to have exactly that, the snapshot, what do we need from the industry? Because we, at the university, we're preparing the knowledge pool for the industry at the end of the day. So we do need to have this snapshot to continuously adapt our content. So then this job vacancies, the job positions could be quicker and silo-oriented, so object-oriented to the companies. Yeah? So this is something that we do need to work more and more in close collaboration.
And we're also well connected with those guys in Aachen. We are a member of the ACAM, and we already had some students from Aachen or inside toolcraft to do their master thesis. So this is exactly maybe where also is the potential of a new employee.
Let's step to another topic. What about attracting people from other nations, from other culture to Germany or to Europe? Maybe is it a topic in your companies as well? And must we have some sayings to the politicians here? Is there something you want to deliver here and then right now?
So we have a partner in Indonesia since more than 20 years. The company is located in Yogyakarta, and we train them as well. And we just finished a master thesis from an Indonesian guy here in toolcraft who was studying at the TH Deggendorf. So we are open to this, and I just finished a travel to Saudi Arabia because they also have their strategy 2030 where additive manufacturing plays a major role. And so we are open also to educate people from other countries. And also with this virtual reality training, it's quite easy because you can translate it to
Perfect.
all the languages that exist in the world. You can get access from all points of this earth, of this planet. And these are, I would say, big steps.
And does our society needs more, openness to embrace these people, or is it everything running smoothly?
The process of getting those people, so like the official documents and things like this, that could be.
Yeah. It's a part of our process. If I can give a perspective of my experience, since I'm from Brazil originally, and I do believe that's quite important to internationalization. Not only to get, I would say, brains from all outside of the world, but more than technical aspect that they have. They do have the background as well, the network. When I brought here and came to DAP, I have a lot of experience in oil and gas industry, in steel making, and those area have acquisition, have projects. So this play a key role. So this I also have in mind for those industries, when they bring someone from other countries, think about also the network and all the national strategies of those countries. Because that's going to play a key role as well in their development and their acquisition of projects in the future.
Yeah, I think that's a very important aspect. So, thank you very much. We cannot cover every aspect of this topic, but we have our area here where where it is possible to dive a little bit deeper into these topics. Thank you very much. I think you are open for questions or for connection here right now at the booth. Thank you, and have a very successful exhibition today and tomorrow. Thanks.
Yes, well, thank you.
And maybe a short applause for these guys. Yeah, dear audience, let me dive once again into our career consulting here at our booth D70 in hall 11.0. I think that's a good chance for the one or the other looking for an open foreign job, getting the one or the other hint. And if you like, you can have a free job application photo shoot. All this until 4 o'clock in the evening. And so now I'm happy to wish you a very successful third day here at Formnext. And next here on stage we will have a seminar where you can learn a lot of things, the basics in additive manufacturing. It's a Discover 3D printing seminar right back in some minutes. Stay tuned.